It's episode 3 of this session. If you haven't seen the last 2 episodes, that's okay. We're playing 5-10 cash here.
It's not okay. You should check it out. There's some serious stuff that goes down with that guy.
That guy in a Queen 9. Oh, my goodness.
Queen 9. It actually was Queen 9.
It was. Queen 9 of hearts. He somehow played a almost 600 big blind pot with Queen 9 of hearts with 1 pair. It was something else.
He also had a flush drop, but he shoved 3 times or 4 times the pot.
3 times the pot, yeah. Maybe 3.5 times the pot.
Ran into a relatively slow-played Kings, which held.
Completely slow-played Kings, in fact.
And,
It was
against Stuart.
It sure was. Stuart is now the big winner in the game. Here's Zach, by the way, with the 7 deuce suited, calling the. By the way, he's yet to raise this entire time. We've never seen that before, but he just called a raise with 7 deuce of diamonds.
And he voluntarily decided to put chips in the pot in the first place as well, which was also interesting considering that Zach's been pretty tight. He's been limping only, but he's been limping like ace 10 off, not 7 deuce.
Well, I guess things have changed as we've been talking about throughout these episodes. Your true nature comes out. Not everyone's, but a lot of people's true nature comes out, and who they really are as a poker player is often shown. You can't really keep it together for 4 hours. You keep it together maybe for an hour,
You just mean about people who play too many hands, right? And there is the 0% that Zach's.
There it is. Because literally 0%. You just never see that.
Because actually we saw a transformation between sessions of Zach Elwood.
Oh, yeah.
The first session he played way too tight in passive in ways that were bad, and he would admit that. And then the second session he came back, and he really picked his spots and did some aggressive stuff. And
it was awesome.
He didn't revert back to anything. He just
He actually changed.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, it was a year later in between filmings of his episodes. I mean, more like in a 4-hour span, who someone is as a poker player is going to shine through no matter what they tell themselves in the beginning of the 4 hours. Pretty much always.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But we're always just referring to like, oh, they're tightening up the ranges, but then all of a sudden they loosen up by hour 2.
It doesn't just have to be that, but that's part of it. It can also be like, if you're going to be extra bluffy or like, sometimes people make resolutions about how they're going to be today. I'm going to be like this. I'm going to bluff more. I'm going to this more. And usually by an hour and a half in, they're just doing what they normally do. Usually.
Yeah.
Unless they've actually made a change. Anyway.
Speaking of loosening up the ranges, Joseph is opening the King 4 suited under the gun. He might be reeling a bit from that Queen 9 hand from the last episode where he lost the massive pot.
King 4 of clubs is, of course, the Crowned King. That's what that one's called.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, yeah. The Crowned King. Sure. Walking sticks for Stuart.
Quadja for Jeremy.
Hey, it's yet another set for Stuart, who is just destroying this table. He always has it.
He's running good.
He had a set not long ago in the last session at the end of the session.
Open-enders for both Wheel and Joseph. Joseph has a backdoor flush draw to go with his, although his open-ender is obviously worse.
Yeah. Stuart, I would assume, is going to put in a raise right away here with top set.
Oh, yeah.
Very comfortable getting it in against whatever. He won't love getting it against Jeremy, but will do it almost certainly.
It's just a too wet of a board to just call here.
Yep. And too many people behind you.
And he makes it 225.
And now Joseph already has a decision with the bottom of it. He knows he's got to let it go.
It's not much of it.
I mean, we saw Joseph lose his mind already once. He could absolutely move in.
He had like a monster hand. That's a very different hand.
He made it 300 pre-flop with Queen 9 suited.
Okay, yes, he did.
Over a $35 raise and 2 calls. Come on.
Right, but
don't tell me he didn't lose his mind.
But that's different than this situation.
If he shoved right here, I wouldn't be completely surprised.
I would.
That's all I'm saying. All right, full house now for Stuart. This is nothing to be afraid of.
Great feeling when you're Stuart.
He's really hoping Wheel's got 5 in his hand. Stuart checks it.
Well, Wheel has a stack to pot ratio, or Wheel might just shove it in, and that's what Stuart's hoping for.
Yeah. Stuart's definitely going to check raise all in. I got to believe if Wheel puts in a bet here, but Wheel checks it back. Wheel knows. I don't know how he knows, but he knows.
Bad run out for Wheel.
Well, I mean, he can beat the bluffs and all the draws missed. He does have the ace.
You can't beat the ace X of spades. He's chopping with that.
True, but at least he's chopping with the ace 10 of spades now.
Wheel is counting his chips, trying to encourage Stuart not to bet. Stuart just moves Wheel in, which is not crazy with the stack to pot ratio.
No, not at all. Stuart's trying to make it look bluffy. As we said, all the draws did miss. And Wheel does have a hand he can call with here.
I mean, if you put Stuart on a worse 8 or King Queen of spades or something, but there's really not that much reason to call, I think.
I mean, the spades missed.
Wouldn't you expect Stuart to just ship the turn if he had King Queen of spades or something like that? Or effectively ship the turn?
Yeah, that's a good point. Stuart's probably not going to give up on the turn with his draws when the 5 pairs. Not too much to worry about there. That's a really good point. Not able to extract any more money. We call him the anti-drill.
Okay.
Because he's unable to, mine the ground. Even though he's the big winner in the game.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
Yep.
I would say he extracted maximum value with kings from Joseph.
Well, more than maximum value, I would say. Wheel throwing. Oh, I guess he
Looks
used up
like
one of his
Wheel was
time
forced
cards,
to use
yeah.
a time card despite not realizing it. He did go over the time. That's the rule.
Yeah, in case you're wondering what that is, we have 30 seconds to act for each player, for each action. If they go over that time, they do have 4 time extension cards that they will get taken from them at the end of the hand anytime they go over that. If they run out of cards, then it is a fold if facing action or a check if not. There's Wonka, always smiling. VPip Joe, he's back. Let's see how VP. Yep, there it is.
I mean, it's not such a
I mean-
prescient thing to know that he's going to play the hand.
Sam with Kings, the Cowboys.
He's been isolating Joe's limps also, so this is a good feeling. Like hoping that Joe is taking recognition of that and is going to fight back. Or maybe Jeremy's taking recognition.
Yeah, exactly. There's other players who could do it too. Is Jeremy going to call or raise? He could
He's-
very reasonably raise here, but he
Based on the
call.
isolation situation, you could definitely raise there. But calling, it's okay. It's a lot more comfortable to call when it's suited than unsuited with the ace-jack out of the
Yeah,
small blind. There's
true.
a lot more flops that feel good. And Joe's just going to limp fold the 10-6 off. I guess that's called making only one mistake. Or is it? Maybe it's making 2 mistakes.
It's hard to say.
Anyway,
bad
Sam
flop
flops
for
the set.
Jeremy. Really bad flop here. He's going to have to lose some money, I think, on this one. Gotta believe Sam's going to continue with middle set.
Especially when the ace is on the flop and there's 2 clubs. It's kind of a necessary continue.
Oh, yeah. And Jeremy absolutely cannot fold. He does have a draw to the nuts, which is a nice little backup plan, which he's going to need.
Raising would be a weird thing to do. So calling
Yep.
seems right.
Joseph has an easy fold. And onward we go.
The nothingest of cards.
Yep. I expect Sam to fire away again here, not let the draws go for free.
Also, a lot of Jeremy's aces are ace-queen and ace-jack, so he's going to feel obligated to continue.
Absolutely. 160, about half pot. I don't really think Jeremy can find a fold yet. That would seem, I don't know, doesn't seem like a good idea.
It doesn't.
What can Sam have that Jeremy can beat? Well,
You can have...
can he have ace-9 and be trying to charge the draws and stuff like that?
You can
maybe?
have, I'm the pre-flop aggressor, and I'm going to bet again on this board.
Yeah,
And
Jeremy just gets
lets
away.
it go. That's
Look at
a
that.
pretty tight fold.
That really is. I've seen Jeremy station a lot, too. So it's interesting. He must have had a really good read on the situation, I guess. He usually does not fold top pair in that spot.
Right, and like I was just in the middle of saying, kind of, Sam is the pre-flop aggressor. He's in a spot where he's supposed to rep that board, and there's draws that missed. He's supposed to rep it again.
I mean, also, if Sam has a hand like Jack 10, he can bet to charge the draws as well as sometimes fold out better hands. Like, lots of good things happen when he bets
Yeah.
Jack 10. And he does not, and then he also doesn't have to bet the river, you know? So
Or he could just have 6-7 suited.
yeah, and just take another shot.
I don't know if it's a good fold, but it was right that time.
Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe he just knows Sam's going to shut down against him a lot because he stations Sam a lot. Maybe he knows that.
Maybe that's going on.
Behind
That's-
every good
that's why-
man is an even better woman.
That's why she's marrying him, so they can combine powers.
All
Oh,
right.
sorry. Sorry.
This is my turn, Nick. Well, actually, no, that wasn't blind versus blind. It was different.
We got the old blind versus blind. Looks like Joseph is choosing the raise route with the 7-6. You could go either way there.
I expect Wonka will defend.
Yep.
Wonka likes his position.
Out on the string.
Fingernails.
Is that what you called?
Joseph is crushing Wonka, though, right now.
Destroying him.
And it gets worse for Wonka.
Oh, it's a cooler in the making.
So unfair, that flop.
Wonka's just going to let Joseph...
Oh, Wonka
Well-
turns open-ended. A 6 would be a disaster. Joseph's going to bet. Is that 50?
This is more interesting than if Joseph checked. I wonder what Wonka's going to do.
It's a really weird check and then bet 50 on this card.
I mean, you could check a king, hoping that Wonka takes a stab.
Okay.
I would sometimes do that.
I wouldn't really expect Joseph to bet 50 with the king, though, after Wonka just checks it back.
And
with
Wonka's
his
going to
weak
raise
range.
because he has an open ender and he's not folding, and he recognizes that situation.
Yep. He knows it's 5 high, and it's hard to win if he doesn't raise.
What'd you have, Nick?
I guess he could call the turn in, just bomb rivers when he gets checked too. That works too sometimes.
Yeah, but that's not as good of a way to fold out a 9 or something like that.
Correct.
True, that is
What'd
true.
you have?
I've already forgotten.
I feel like Wonka's better than that, than to make that joke. When
I
somebody
think it's
asks what
possible
has.
he has actually forgotten because he's sort of foggy-headed. He's got a lot of nothing going on up there, you know. It's like it's like a carousel. Just like weird music and sounds as different misshapen animals, spin around in that.
It's a
thing.
miracle that he makes it to poker time when we ask him to come.
He doesn't have a driver or anything. He drives himself, which has got to be just a menace to everyone else on the road.
He actually is always late. He's always like 15 minutes late.
He's gotten a little better,
Yeah.
but only a little bit.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
I think Wonka takes more abuse from us than anyone, and I gotta say it's deserved.
You have to mention how deserved it is. By the way, Joe has made it 60.
60, and Joseph's gonna call with the 7-5 suited. They're absolutely deep enough, and he's on the button. Totally reasonable.
Yep. Zach should absolutely call with this hand as well. and
does.
Looks like he does.
7-5 suited, the bricklayer.
The bricklayer.
That's what it's called.
Is that real, or did you make that up?
That's real.
That's
I
a
mean,
good flop for the 7-5 suited.
Wow, is it? And Ace Jack's got top.
All
So
right, we got a bit of a situation developing.
look
And
at Joe checking top here.
interesting. Is he trying to check raise?
I don't know. Is it a check raise or a check call? Probably a check raise. Gotta believe Joseph's gonna bet. He's got way too much equity.
135.
Joseph will not be folding if he gets check raised.
Well, it's Joe, you mean? Oh, Joseph. Sorry.
Yeah, Joseph.
Yep. No, of course not.
These guys should have different names. It's not fair for us as
Well,
commentators.
They do have different names, but I feel you.
I mean, Joe's
It's
full
VPIP
name.
Joe.
Joe's full name is probably Joseph. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I didn't even understand what you said because the names were confusing me. And it is a raise. And now what does Joseph do? Is Joseph going to call or raise? I can't imagine he's going to fold like you're saying.
I think raising might be the best option because it's hard to
He
get paid
does.
if you improve.
I
and he
like this
does.
play.
Just move it in. Joe's going to have to call, I think.
I don't think you can play the hand this way and fold. I think
No,
it's a
I mean, there's
mistake.
too many draws. Of course, you're worried about sets, which you're almost dead against, but there's too many draws to fold once you check raise here.
He's also seen Joseph move all in with weak top pairs and things like that earlier, like last episode. So I don't see how you can play this for a check raise, get shoved on with this at this stack depth and do anything but put your chips in. I know it sucks. You're allowed to take your time. You think, I can't beat any value, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Chips got to go in.
It's actually the same type of hand
And
that
he does
Joseph
call.
ended up all in with before, the pair and the flush draw. It's a similar hand strength overall.
It's really a similar equity spot.
Yeah.
50%. It's about the same. Which Joe will win?
Joe's going to win the hand.
And it looks
Well,
like Joseph
that's
is gonna
already
win the
over.
hand,
Joseph has won the hand. That is a terrible
would've
feeling.
won either way.
Yep, he gets there two ways.
Both ways.
If it's not one way, it's the.
We got VPIP Joe against pair and flush draw Joe now. Joseph has been
PNF, Joe. PF.
PF Chang's. Is that where PF Chang's comes from?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Pair and flush draw Chang's.
They have really good lettuce wraps.
They are quite good.
Yeah, they are. I'm not kidding.
I am not either. I haven't been to PF Chang's forever.
Not a sponsor.
Not
by
a
the way.
sponsor.
The PF Chang's in Portland closed like 7 years ago.
If they were a sponsor, we would get free lettuce wraps.
Oh, man, we would talk up the lettuce wraps a lot more than we do. You'd see little videos of us eating lettuce wraps and be like, oh, just hanging out eating our PF Chang's lettuce wraps, everyone. What's up?
If anybody here is connected to PF Chang's, send us some lettuce wraps.
Yeah, we're in. We're in. We will happily shill.
No, I think he was asking if you just had
No
it
fear.
earlier, right?
I was asking if you had it earlier.
Because sometimes the stacks are off when they do the pots. So.
All right, you know what time it is? It's time to award the best hairdo on Poker Time like we do every
The
month.
best hairdo.
Best hairdo. Currently in the lead has got to be Sam of these three. Still Sam of these two.
Stewart's trying.
And I think it's between Sam and Joseph.
Joseph has a nice cue ball going.
I mean, Jeremy's got no chance.
Look how shiny Joseph's head is.
Yeah.
I think that might be the winner.
It might be Joseph. Nick is Sorry, Wonka, his first name is actually Nick, is actually, well, he's ahead of Jeremy anyway. Jeremy's got to be the
He's not ahead
low.
of Jeremy in hands, by the way, because Jeremy has aces and
wow.
Wonka has queen 10 of diamonds. So
But he is behind in terms of hairdo.
okay.
That's clear. I think Joe, Wonka, and Zach are the nutload this week for hair. Okay.
Joe, what's wrong with Joe's hair?
It's fine. He could put a little product in there.
He did.
He could put a little more product in there. So no one
Product's
has
not always
anything.
a good thing.
Wonka's got the 2 back doors. Jeremy is going to fire, and
He's just
that's
gonna win.
Probably going to do it unless Wonka decides to float, which I
This
don't
is
know
a-
how likely it is with Joe behind him.
This is a hand that Wonka could float with in
Yep.
position.
And he is.
Interesting. I like it as a viewer. It's
Yep.
fun to see what's going to happen.
It'd be cool if a high equity card comes for Wonka here. 9 of diamonds. That is not a high equity card.
I mean,
Wonka's drawing
it might
dead.
be cool anyway because Wonka can try to rep a 7.
Oh,
or
he
a
can
jack.
try. I just don't think it's going to work.
No, I don't think Jeremy can fold this hand.
Will Jeremy bet again, or is he going to check? If he checks, Wonka's going to lose some money.
I think he's supposed to bet again.
Try and get value from a jack.
Yeah, jacks might just check back.
Yeah.
You're not going to fold if Wonka bets anyway with a 7. The problem becomes if you get raised, you get in a bit of a conundrum.
I think Jeremy's just going to have to hold on.
It's going to be crappy, though.
Yep.
Like, that's not a good spot.
It's very bad. Wonka absolutely can have a 7. He can have 7-8 suited. He can have 6-7 suited.
Ace 7 suited.
Maybe 7-9 suited even.
I guess there's only one combo from Jeremy's perspective of Ace 7 suited.
Maybe 5-7 suited. That's about it. Wonka realizes that when Jeremy fires again.
He's just going to let it go.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you should have checked.
Jeremy, you check. You might get 2 more streets from Wonka. Certainly you're getting 1. I can't imagine Wonka's just going to not put any more money in the pot when check too.
No, he's probably usually putting more money in, but maybe not on all cards. Maybe he has to have some sort of equity build or some sort of card that he feels like could scare Jeremy.
I mean, that deuce wasn't going to scare anybody, right?
Right. So
the
I'm saying
question
maybe
is,
that's a card that
just
Wonka
gives
gives
up.
up on. It's possible.
I would guess he's going to take 1 shot at it. Like, you don't really float to take 0 shots at it.
Yeah,
usually.
but you
most
can't-
players.
But if you have a comprehensive strategy like Wonka certainly does, he's going to have some floats that don't actually take
That's
steps.
true. That's probably true. Well, that is a good candidate to not take a shot at. I will give you that. Almost every other card is better than the deuce of hearts.
Wheel, by the way, has just been taking it on the chin, and he has not been chipping up. He's just stuck with the stack, hoping to spin it up a little bit.
Yeah. Luckily for him, he's probably the median hair do at the table.
I love being the median hairdo
He's probably
anywhere.
right in the middle there.
Yesterday, I was at a Chipotle, and I was the median hairdo, and it felt great.
You looked around, you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm better than some of these people.
I'm the median. But I'm far below average because there was one guy with incredible hair, and he just like made the average.
Oh, that's rough.
All right, so Joseph has the 10-9 suited.
That's a flush draw for Joe.
Yep.
Nothing at all for Joseph.
Joseph's just going to check it right back.
And Joe is going to have a pretty easy bet here on the turn.
We'll probably just end things unless Joseph gets weird, which
He's known to
happens
get weird.
sometimes.
Joseph makes surprising decisions once in a while. He makes an unhappy fold.
He's very unhappy. Look at him. Even though he just doubled up against Joe.
Yeah.
He wants more.
Well, he's still down for the session.
Yeah, but it's really quite a come up for him to win that last hand. That was a big pot.
Well, he got it in twice. He's supposed to win one of those two. You know, he's about 50% equity both times. And
Sure, but
he lost the big one and won the small one.
I mean, it wasn't that much smaller, though.
It was $6,000, 5.7K instead of 3.2K, 3.3K. That's pretty.
Yeah, but sometimes
$2,400, nothing.
Sometimes you have a session where you lose all of your 50-50s, and you could have lost both of those.
Of
It feels
course.
good to at least win it, you know?
Absolutely. Of course it does.
You trying to tell me that you didn't want to win that hand, Levy? That's what you're trying to tell me?
I'm trying to tell you, I think Stuart is also right neck and neck with Wheel for the hairdo median.
Anyway, Stuart's going to raise ace-jack.
Jeremy just continues to bring up the rear end on that one. Okay, moving
Wow.
on.
So rude.
You know, maybe work on a comb, some comb action, some brush action.
Maybe try to, only say the nice parts and not the mean parts.
How is that mean?
By the way,
Grace just looked at my hair just now because
I
gonna
did,
insult
and
my
I was
hair.
just thinking about certain breakdowns that we've put out where Jonathan's hair is not looking the
Oh,
best.
that's for sure. No, sometimes my hair is well below the median as well. Anyway, let's get back to the polka. A lot of players. Stuart can't love it. He's got the only ace.
Nobody has a great hand.
Sam has king queen. Stuart's got ace jack. Those are pretty good.
I mean, they're okay.
Those are playable.
I'm not
reasonable.
impressed.
Hey, we got diamonds for a few players, Jeremy and Joseph.
Jeremy with a pair to go with it. Jack high flop means Stuart has top.
And Joseph's got middle pair as well.
You mean Joe, of course.
Of course I do. Sam's the only guy with nothing. He's got 2 back doors, but that's it, and overs. $100 bet by Stuart, and let's see how this one plays out.
I think Jeremy could raise there.
He could, but it's reasonable to call with all these people behind him, too. There's no way Joseph can just throw this hand away. You cannot call king deuce of diamonds, flop a flush draw, and fold for 100, right? Yeah.
He does call. He could also raise, by the way. He has no showdown value.
Correct. But there's
Joe's going to call with the 8. That with 3 players in already, I don't know if you should be calling with middle pair.
Well,
By the way, a queen would complete 9-10, which is also problematic. I don't know if I like the call by Joe. 10 comes in.
10 does not improve anyone in any way.
Stuart probably hates that card, though.
Can't love it.
A lot of 2 pairs come in, a couple straights come in.
I mean, most cards are going to be bad for Stuart on the turn.
Right, but that one is, you know,
Yeah,
it's
that's a
well
little
below
straightier.
the median, as you might say.
A three of clubs would have been a better card. 3 of spades, better still. Let's see if this is not a terrible time for Joseph to take a shot, but he's going to check.
Joe has picked up a straight draw.
Yep. But everyone's a little bit afraid. And let's see if there can be no improving. Excuse me, Jeremy improves to the best hand.
Yep, he has 2 pair, but there is a 4-card straight out there.
Yep.
So I don't think he's going to be betting his 2 pair.
Joseph's the only guy who doesn't have showdown value.
It'd be interesting to see him take a shot. It'd probably work.
Tough to do 4 ways, though. Really
It would
tough to do.
probably work.
But still really hard to do.
Looks like he's already checked, unless the camera is lying, which it is not.
Cameras lie.
Oh, Joe is going to turn his hand to a
Look
bluff.
at this. I like this.
This is
play.
going to work. This is great.
I'm not 100% sure this is going to work, but this is likely.
This
Oh,
is for sure going to work.
how much is he betting?
500.
He's betting almost pot.
Stuart probably can't call with
Cannot
2
call.
players behind.
No way.
Jeremy can kind of consider that Joseph is likely not to call, but still, this 2 pair on this board is not a comfortable spot.
I mean, 8-9, Jack 9, 10-9.
9-10. 9-10 makes all the sense in the
9-10,
world.
it completely fits. He'd play it just like this a lot.
Queen 9 even.
What hand is he supposed to have that he called with on the flop and he's betting now? Diamonds? Guess what? Jeremy has diamonds. So that's not great. It's possible, but it's not great.
It has to be something like this where he's turning a pair into a bluff.
And there's no real reason to think he'd be doing that. This is wow.
That was an impressive play by Joe there.
Look at VPip Joe. VPipping his way down the lane and into Victory Boulevard.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
One more of those, he'll be on an avenue.
I think I was good until the river.
I mean, you know what happens then, right?
Yeah.
Parade time.
Ace jack.
Marching bands.
Yeah.
Floats. Not
Oh, man.
poker floats.
I don't wanna-
Not root beer floats.
I don't
like
want to go.
floats.
I hate parades. I don't
Everyone loves a good parade.
You don't
Grant.
love a parade.
I love a good parade.
What's a good parade?
Video
Name-
games, football,
What are you talking about?
barbecue, dancing, disco,
You're just saying
charades.
words.
You put that stuff in a parade, I'm in.
You want to watch people play
No,
charades?
I want to participate.
My flush draw was no good.
I mean, participating in a parade is obviously better than watching a parade.
I don't know. Have you ever been in a marching band? It sucks.
Okay.
I had the bass drum once in a marching band. It's so heavy. We went on forever. I was 13. I did not enjoy it. It was way worse than any other job one could have at the parade.
Okay, fine.
Don't do that if you're young and listening. Stay away from percussion.
35.
Did I mention
35.
All right,
how
Joseph.
pretty your nails are?
I'm going to try and win back some of this money.
Nice hand, Joe.
Thank you.
Hold it around to Stuart, who folds.
Stuart, who lost the last hand.
Stuart's going to take a shot.
That's true. I took the
No,
field. Who
but-
did I bet against?
There's a 9 for Joseph. He's going to
Check.
outflop Stewie Younger and check it back. Ace of diamonds on the turn. Joseph picks up a flush draw as well as second pair.
He doesn't love the ace, that's
It's
for
sort
sure.
of a weird time to
Yeah.
bet, but it's understandable. He's also trying to build a pot. Doesn't want to give away any more
He
free
bets
cards.
just 20 into 65.
Stu's going to fold anyway. That's right. I called him Stu.
75, excuse me.
I called him Stu. Yep.
You
Stu
should-
has an STEW like he's stewing in it. He's so upset.
You shouldn't do that as a guy who's weird about people calling you anything but
Oh,
Jonathan.
I do hate that. Yeah. It's because of the Stewie Younger thing. That's why I called him Stu. But you're right.
Yeah,
I
I'm
do-
sure it's fine
I
if
do
you just
hate
give
that.
an excuse based on how
No,
you
you're right.
you feel like you're
You're
like
right.
an underrepresented class, people who have names that get
Wow.
abbreviated. You want to file lawsuits and stuff when
I
people
just
call
don't.
you John.
I just want people to call me by my name.
Yeah, I mean that's just words that you're saying.
That's what. Anytime anyone speaks, that's what's happening.
Yeah, I know, but like that's not really a reason. It's just an abbreviation.
Except it's not. It's a. Usually, when people call me John, you know this. You've been there. They actually think my name is John, right? Like they're not doing it to shorthand it. They just always call me that because they think that's my actual.
I don't know. That's just a perception you have. I don't know why you would think that is the case.
Because they never ever call me Jonathan ever, and that's my name. I don't care.
Okay.
I want to be called that, and I don't think I should defend that anymore.
I feel like you
And I'll
should have
punch
to-
anyone who's got a problem with that. That's right, audience.
Something happened to you when you were a
Who
kid.
wants to fight?
Something happened to you when you were a kid with the name. Something happened. I'm gonna find out.
You'll never find out. So with the King 10 suited.
You mean Stu?
Come on, that's offensive.
And there's Jer. What's Ja gonna do with Ace Deuce suited?
That's the slalom. Ace 2 suited.
Right. The slalom.
And King 10 is the hottest king, right?
Oh yeah. I think that
Oh
was-
no, that's the hot Carl. That's the hot Carl.
Oh, the hot Carl. That's right.
My mistake. All right, the slalom gets there. Sometimes the slalom takes you there, you know.
Yep.
You go down quickly.
The hot
though.
Carl often has
Stuart's gonna lead.
negative consequences.
Stuart does have a lot of aces
Stuart
here.
is not leading. He raised pre-flop after Joe limped. so.
My mistake. Joe's gonna raise.
I
Not in love with this play. He does
not-
have 2 back doors at least.
do not like the raise.
We do not endorse this play on Poker Guys Network. VFIP Joe, who made it an awesome play with the Queen 8, turning his pair into a bluff last time, which was a little bit above the rim even, I would say. A lot of people just take their equity there, even though they're almost always losing. We like that play a lot.
So let's explain why we don't like that. Because
Okay.
Basically, I'll do it with the Socratic method and ask.
Oh, boy. Be careful.
I'm just asking, what are you hoping to accomplish by raising there?
Okay.
Are you trying to get value from a worse hand? Because it's going to be tough to do that.
Yep.
Are you trying to bluff out a better hand? Because it's going to be tough to do that. So I don't see the value in raising. You're also killing all the bluffs. Stuart's no longer going to be bluffing on the turn.
You could eventually fold out a better hand, I guess, if you raise and then fire and fire, like some slightly better aces. Some better aces are going to fold.
right,
by
but
the
why
river.
why immediately decide that Ace Deuce is not good enough on that board?
I don't know at all. I feel you. I'm with you. I agree. It feels like a very straightforward call there.
Sam opening the Ace 9 in the hijack.
We'll going to play the King 10 offsuit. And Stuart, who's just winning everything right now, except that last hand.
Yeah, he lost that
He's
hand.
got $6,000 in front of him in this 5-10 game. Just 600 blinds. Joseph, the King 7, Jack 7, excuse me. I think he's kind of obligated to call.
Yeah, I guess he is.
I mean,
It's not
he's
a
got
great hand.
He's got 3.2K in front of him. Stuart's got 6K in front of him. I don't see how you don't. You want to play a lot of hands, and this is playable enough. I mean, now it sucks.
Sam has flopped top. It's kind of a miracle flop for Ace 9.
I mean,
It's tough to flop this well with Ace 9 offsuit.
it's a pretty good flop.
Ran very good. Yeah.
I think a miracle, maybe a little overstating it.
Okay. It feels real good to flop like this with Ace 9.
Okay, I agree. I feel like anytime I open Ace 9, I always flop top pair with a 9.
Really, always.
I feel like it's pretty freaking consistent.
You should just open Ace 9 off under the gun then.
Yeah, I really should.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just worried about getting sucked out on, you know.
That's why you bet 2 times the pot on the flop.
Whatever works. I guess if I have Ace 9, I could just go all in free.
I mean,
I know I'm going to flop top pair. Like, I'm probably good.
yeah, but you're getting called by all the overpairs to your top pair. That's
But what
the
if I get
problem.
what if I get called by all like 7s and 8s?
Why are you gonna? How many blinds are you going all in for here?
3, 4, 5, 100, 700,
Yeah,
700.
Yeah,
700.
it's good. Good play.
Is that a good? I don't know, man. I'm just playing it by ear, okay? I don't have to have decisions now. I don't strategize.
That's for sure.
I just roll with it.
Yep,
Ace 9, let's go. You know, stuff like that.
for sure. Do you say that when you look down at Ace 9? And then
Sometimes I have before in my life, because what I do is, this is true, when I look at my cards, in my head, I say the cards to myself. So that way I remember the suits.
Yeah.
Right? And in my life, and then I like look up and I say them again to myself. And I have before said them out loud.
Was that a good play? Did that work out well?
I remember, I think I've done it twice in my life. The first time I looked around, I wasn't sure if anyone heard me or not. The second time I sort of whispered. Actually, I did it recently, and I sort of whispered them. I was like, God, I gotta Got to keep it together here.
Joseph, by the way, now calling with Jack 7 again. This time a lot less mandatory.
From the small blind. Don't like it at all. Also against wheels, $540. This is Joseph just playing every hand.
And he
there's
gets
a
there
7.
with the 7.
It's kind of a miracle.
Checks again. Hoping wheel's going to bet. Not happening.
And time for Joseph to bet, try and get called, and probably failing.
Ace high might decide to call.
Joseph usually has a showdownable hand here when he calls from the small blind specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like wheel's considering a call with the king high.
It is only $30. That's the good news. That's a reason to consider it.
Lets it go, though.
Yeah, I like that. The hand is completely undefined past Joseph's flat in the small blind, so it would suck if he was, bluffing with king queen or ace high or something.
Yes, those things would be the poop.
Yeah. I read that in Card Player magazine, by the way. Everyone's saying, all the kids are saying that now. The poop.
Yeah.
Whenever something goes not their way.
Right.
The poop. It's cool.
It's like
It's really cool. It's like saying, I piled.
It's like in 2010 when you would lose a big pot when you were ahead, you'd say obv.
How about nowadays, or maybe like 2 years ago, the must be nice thing?
Must be nice is not 2 years ago. Must be nice has been going on for centuries, I think. People have been saying that to me since before time began.
King Arthur's like, Lancelot, huh?
Must be nice.
Okay.
You think must be nice is from 2017? Who are you? Have you been outside? What are you talking about?
I live a pretty insular life. All right, Jeremy's with ace king here. Joseph has got something he's not folding. It's 2 10s.
That's a reasonable not fold
He could
hand.
very reasonably 3-bet it. In
Instead,
fact,
he's just going to
I'm a
call.
little surprised he doesn't
It
3-bet
is.
this. That's a pretty straightforward 3-bet most of the time. But it's okay to call.
Yeah, mix in a couple calls there.
Yep. As it turns out, it's a good time just to call because Jeremy might be 4-betting him. And Jeremy did flop top.
What a good feeling with ace king.
They are deep.
It is such a good feeling
Yep.
on a clean board. You know what sucks is when you have this feeling and then you get raised and you're like, oh,
Exactly.
that
But
means they have to have a weird bluff or a set. Cool.
then you don't want the board to be so clean as soon
Yeah.
as they raise. Then you want it to be kind of wet.
Yeah,
Joseph will call once, as he should.
absolutely.
Before I could play legally, probably. Before I was in foil.
With that split screen. Jonathan loves it.
Oh, it looks so good.
5-7 gets there, but that's not a huge consideration.
Wouldn't be too worried about 5-7. 6-8 suited gets there. I mean, there's very little. Pocket sixes. Jeremy's got to believe he almost always has the best hand.
Jeremy
here.
should just hope that Joseph has king, queen to king 10
Yep.
and try to get 3 streets.
Yep, I think that's a really good idea. As it is, with 2 10s, I'm not even sure what Joseph's supposed to do right now. He can't beat a bluff. He can only beat a bluff, excuse me. But Jeremy's going to have some bluffs on this dryness, I would think. What do you think? Is this a call or a fold?
It is so close.
I think you guys start to ask yourself, like, what other hands did I call the flop with? And, like, start to think distribution-wise because it's so close, Joseph's about to run out of time. You can see the clock there on the bottom right.
He has time banks.
Yep. He is now into one of his
For
extensions.
this little tiny ass pot? Whatever. Let's see if I can get the guy to talk. Somebody talk all the time and then freeze up in this moment. My highest card is a 10. So.
It's probably a wise fold.
Joseph with the cutesy little, my highest card is a 10 as he folds. That is true.
How do you not check the turn?
Should have.
How do you not check the turn, he asks. Nice fold there by Joseph.
Looks like Sam is going to blind raise it. We do not have straddles on Poker Time that are allowed, so
He didn't get any notes.
it is the
That means it's staying.
least possible expected value for a pre-flop blind bet, I think.
I mean, you could make it more.
You can make it more, sure, but it's worse than a straddle, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
I know, Nick. They can't take your crown.
But sometimes the players do it just to increase the action.
They cannot take
Sometimes they'll do a round of these. We admit it's a little weird, but it's what we got.
Yep.
We do it, and the players want to do it, so sounds great.
me or is it
Here's Will with $540.
And ace 4 off. I guess that $20 kind of got the blood rushing.
He only
and,
has 27 bets here if we assume Sam is sort of a blind there with his $20 raise.
And
Sort of works
Stewart's
that way.
got 2 queens, and will be looking to get it in against wheel stack, I believe.
Yeah. Let's see
Or
how much
did
he
he?
makes.
He
does.
did. It says 4, but it's really kind of a 3-bet to 200.
Yeah.
And Wheel's little experiment with the ace-4 off should be over.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do except throw it away here. He doesn't have enough money to. He has no fold equity. Stuart would be forced to call.
He
Even Stuart was
has
bluffing.
chips.
What does he do? He calls.
Wheel
Wow.
calls. Does he think he has something else?
He thinks he has aces. Those are fool's aces. If you look at the 4 quickly enough, it can look like an ace. There's a 4 on the board.
Well, he has
Now Wheel can't fold.
he has less than a pot, and he's just gonna
I think it's fine
move
to
it in. It's fine, but he didn't have to be there in the first
Yeah,
place.
I think it's fine to move it in once he's called, but I agree. I'm surprised he called with this hand.
And things keep
specifically.
turning up Stewart.
Well, it isn't over yet.
Well, it's a pretty good
5
spot.
outs. And they all miss, and Stewart once again wins. How much does Stewart have now?
A lot.
Oh, man.
I run like Stuart.
Just over 14K in the pot. The turn is the 4 of diamonds.
Hey, what is that? Speaking of turn, coming around the mountain? Is
Oh.
that the Nitrogen Sports Poker train?
I think they did buy a train recently.
If you listen, you can hear its very familiar jingle. And choo-choo. Wait, there's the jingle. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Wow, that's the weirdest ad ever. All of a sudden. Anyway, Nitrogen Sports Poker Room is, they let us do ads like this.
They
perhaps
do.
because they don't listen to them.
Free reign, baby. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
And before the break, we saw that there was a blind raise under the gun. Now we have a bomb pot
Yes.
where everybody puts in $25, and we go to a flop, and then the action begins.
Yeah. It's a forced $25 ante and no action before the flop. If you've never heard of these before, they are fun, as you're about to see. You're going to see an 8-handed flop. Look at all those.
Bad hands. Sam has 7s, which is the
Stuart
best
has,
hand.
yeah, that is about it, isn't it?
Deuce 6-6, and Wonka's got trip 6s now.
Yep. So Sam may get in a little bit of trouble here.
It is a bomb pot, though.
Yeah.
You're going to be up against trips a lot more frequently than any other scenario.
And also overpairs. Like, there's no way
Yeah.
for him, like, he can be up against all the overpairs, right?
Right, but the 6s are all going to be there,
Yep.
whereas they would have folded pre-flop a lot of the time, such as Wonka's hand.
I mean, I think it's fine for Sam to bet 90 here, sort of like see if he can clear it out.
Yeah, yeah,
But
for
as soon as like Wonka's obviously not going to fold here, and as soon as Wonka doesn't fold, that should be the end of the world to him. Like Wonka's not calling with 2 5s.
In a bomb pot, it's kind of interesting how much the kicker matters here on the 6. Like, having a queen with a 6 is pretty good in a bomb pot.
Right.
It's a lot better than 6-4, whereas in a normal pot, 4-6 and queen 6 have similar value in a spot like this.
Better than him. Better than Leroy.
Because you're up against all the other 6s instead
Yeah.
of very few.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sam's going to check, and I got to believe he's done.
It's unfair to give anybody Brandon Roy's name.
Should Wonka bet? I mean,
I think he should try and get value from other 6s, like you're saying.
I guess he should. He should try to get value from 6-7.
If Sam has 5-6, he would check here, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Epitome of
He doesn't want to get blown off the hand or put in way too much money.
Should you try to get 2 streets if you're Wonka, though? Because queen 6 is not the best 6, obviously.
I would try and get 3 streets, personally. Queen 6 is a pretty darn good 6. Sam would probably continue just betting himself with ace 6 most of the time.
Sam looks like he's considering. I feel like this is a pretty easy fold.
I agree.
There's no draws except for gut shots on the flop.
Which Wonka's not calling with.
Yeah. He's raising those or folding those.
And he's just throwing them away.
Looks like Sam is raising. Okay, this is cool. This is a lot better.
Whoa.
This is a lot better than a call.
I don't disagree. Also, Wonka bet pretty small. He bet really, really small, and so maybe Sam's reading into that. Turns out Wonka's pretty strong.
Sam is saying he has a full house, but there are plenty of those available to him here. 6-9, 6 deuce, 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 9-9.
Yep.
All possible.
So now Wonka's in the spot where he's got to be careful where he doesn't level himself one place or another. Wonka's just saying to himself, I've got a hand that should not fold yet. That is all. And this is correct.
It'll be very interesting if Sam goes for it because Wonka has a pot-sized bet back.
I think Sam should not go for it once Wonka calls here. Now we know for sure Wonka has a 6, right?
Weaver State, which is where Dame came from. And he put up 38 in the tournament against like a UNC or something.
I mean, he probably already knew that. But now he knows. It's got to be like Wonka bet so small. I think Sam probably was responding
Yeah,
to that
he
sizing.
has a 6, sure, but like, what does Wonka do if Sam moves in? That is not a good spot.
It's not a good spot, but Wonka's the kind of guy who's like knows he has to call with some of his hands. And
Right, but he has a lot of better hands on this board actually at this point.
he has a lot of worse hands too, though.
Not that many.
Because all the 6s.
Yeah, but
That's a lot of hands.
he has 6-2, 6-9, 6-10.
6-3, 6-4, 6-5, 6-7, 6-8, 6-jack are all worse hands.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Wonka also has deuce, deuce, 9-9, a little bit of 10-10.
Sure he does. I don't even know if he has. He definitely doesn't have 10-10.
So this is an interesting sizing choice by Sam.
He's trying to make it look like value. It does look like value. But guess what? I don't see how Wonka's folding this hand. I think his kicker's way too good. I'm not saying it feels
It's
good.
not his kicker is not the thing because at this point Sam is never doing this with a lone 6.
You don't think Sam can have ace-6?
So then the kicker doesn't matter anyway. And I don't. I think Sam just has full houses for value in a bomb pot.
I mean, you block a lot of the full houses anyway.
Right, but do you agree now that the kicker doesn't matter?
I don't know.
You think Sam's doing this with like 5-6? Wonka does make the
Sam's doing
call.
2 7s. I don't know what Sam's
He's
doing.
not doing it for value with 2 7s though. Obviously.
Yeah.
Anyway, Wonka does make the call, and I guess he just decides
All right. For everybody that says
the 6 is good enough.
we have the queen 6 off.
But I'm gonna stick to my guns here
Yeah.
That's what it takes. Takes the ball.
and say that the queen kicker no longer really matters when Sam takes that line. He check
The
raises the
reason
turn.
the reason why it matters though is it helps Wonka in his distribution.
Yeah, that's it. It's
That's
just
where it's
just
helpful.
from a game theory
That's
perspective.
fair. No, I agree with you there. I think you're right. But that's a good way to make decisions, right? Like where Wonka can say, well, 4-6, gosh, this is like the worst queen I ever have. 6-3, whatever.
Well, I wonder if the pot size shove would have gotten through then, because that changes the distribution that Wonka's supposed to be calling with.
I mean, Wonka doesn't have to write that often. I mean, he was getting 3-1
Yeah,
on his call, right? So if it's 25%, I mean, as we see, Sam can be bluffing here. That's
Right.
pretty good. That means Wonka should be calling with all his reasonably good hands, right? Most of his hands he should be calling with that call the check raise on the turn.
Do you think he's calling the check raise on the turn with all 6s?
I do. So I think he's got some folds on the river, but
90.
I don't think he has that many. Is my guess.
Well, if Sam went for a pot size shove, he's supposed to have 33% folds on the river of hands that he got there with. Queen 6 is pretty close, although probably good enough to call if you go by that.
I'm gonna say it's good enough.
But you're probably in live poker especially supposed to tighten up distribution a little bit.
Thing is, Wonka doesn't play like that, right? We've
Yeah.
seen Wonka numerous times be in spots just like this on the river. We saw him do this with Isan in the last session, where he had ace queen and Isan 3-bet, and then went bet when Isan flopped a combo draw and missed. And on the river, Wonka had top with ace queen, and talked a lot about like, oh, it really feels you could get on this. And still made the call because he knows like that's one of the best hands he's going to show up with.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. There are a few better hands Wonka can show up with, but he might play them differently too. You know, he might play like if he had 2 9s in his hand somehow, he might re-raise on the turn.
He might.
Sometimes he might bet more on the turn.
He might.
Sometimes Wonka's also aware that he bet really tiny on the turn, which is inducing a lot of this potential behavior.
That's
he knows
true.
that, so it makes it harder to fold a good hand.
Did you see just now that Stewart's up 4.2K?
Wow,
That's pretty good.
that is got to be number 2 all time, I think, in Poker Time history.
If he
he
holds.
holds, yeah.
I mean, he's still got another episode after this one.
Long way to go.
Yeah.
But it also means number 1 is in reach. I think number 1 is the Destroyer of Worlds. Ken.
6K, something like
I think
that?
it was 5. I think it was 5. So Stuey Younger. By the way, Stuey Younger's nickname given to him by Jeremy, sitting on Stuart's left. I think last episode or an episode earlier I said it was just given to him by some guys. It's Jeremy right there.
Did Jeremy give you crap for that?
Yes, he did.
I can tell.
Yep. Jeremy with the open ender.
Yep.
That's it. No one else has anything. I think Jeremy was right to give me crap for that. I knew he was the one who came up with it and still did not give him credit. Didn't
He's
really
trying to
think
make
about it.
enemies over there, Lovey?
I mean, I'm not afraid to make enemies. I'll say that.
I am. I don't want enemies.
I like enemies.
You do? You just want more people that are out for your blood?
Yeah. It keeps you, alive, alert and alive. In zoos,
Enemies, I want you to know something about Jonathan. He doesn't lock his door, so
yeah,
go ahead.
come and get me. In zoos, like the antelope, the zoos where you just they run free and stuff, they're just fenced in. The antelope were all depressed and dying young, and they didn't know why, and they finally moved them by natural predators. So there's just a fence between them and the lions, and then the antelope all started living better and longer and healthier because they need that. You need that.
No, antelope need that.
Everyone needs that. I
Humans
think.
do not need that.
So Joe just raised with 6 high here when the jack pairs.
I mean, Joe does stuff that
Wow.
makes it hard to play against sometimes.
How about VPIP Joey?
He doesn't like being called Joey.
Joey V-Pip. Is Jeremy? This might be a fold.
I think he told us to put the name Joe in, and that's the name he prefers. Something you should
I
understand.
don't know why anyone. Okay, Jeremy doesn't fold though. Jeremy is going to call.
He's seen enough of Joe. However, he doesn't have much showdown value with the queen high.
No, but is Joe going to take another? Well, now he's got
that's
showdown
going to
value.
be easy for Jeremy to make a decision now.
Joe is Joe going to give up or not? Joe normally gives up in these spots. We cannot see him. There we go.
The ace is a card that Joe could easily bet because he could say, all right, if I had a jack, I wouldn't be afraid of the ace. But he gives up anyway.
Yeah. He could also have queen 10 and have gotten there.
Yeah.
But he decided that Jeremy's got hands he's not folding. And the only hands Jeremy really isn't folding is queen 10 and a jack. But what other hands does he really have here? Maybe 9, 10. Maybe a king once in a while.
Yeah, he's got a king.
You can get him to fold a king.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He's got a lot of kings.
So, do you think Joe's supposed to take a shot there? With 6 high, he probably is.
I mean, the most obvious draw does come in, but Jeremy is going to fold that on the turn a lot on a
Yeah,
paired board.
absolutely. That's a
anyway.
really good point.
So you might not expect it.
So maybe it's better for Joe to be firing there.
Look what they're on their phones. You know what I mean? Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter.
Anyway, Joe's making everyone's life a little hard. I like to see it.
Nice $50 free roll. Tweeting these lucky boxes.
I had to go there because I said it earlier. Sure.
Nope.
Sam's the one.
With the Queen's conversation.
That I believe. Sam's live tweeting this.
20.
Oh yes, it's here. It's here. I have not looked, and it's there.
Well, Joseph almost forgot to put in his 20. I guess they have a round that
Yeah.
they're doing.
The whole thing is gone?
Don't forget
no, I'm
your
thinking of
dark
mine.
Oh,
I don't know.
Jacob Joe's definitely playing this hand.
I forgot.
Remind me.
This is aces to him.
Looked. So I mean,
Yeah. No, you're right. I
the
would.
cameras will know that I.
And Sam is going to isolate VPIP Joe once again.
With the 9-7 off.
He's really just like, this guy just has every hand in the book, and I'm just going to isolate him.
He is right,
Turns out this is a bad hand to be isolating against.
but it's still going to work way more than it isn't.
Right. Joe's just going to miss, and Sam's going to win a lot. Assuming Joe calls, but it looks like he
Whoa.
folded.
Even better.
What a deal for Sam.
That was amazing. Sam picked up $50, $55 with 9-7 off and was dominated.
It's quick this time.
Didn't have to see a flop.
That's average. Computer love.
He did bluff a lot away to Wonka recently, though. So
He sure did. Gave him about $950 to Wonka, maybe $1,000 with 2 sevens.
So if you were at, yeah. So you would
Say you're at the Blazer game, you compare still to Blazer game.
Yeah.
Does it
like,
create a permanent record?
Yes.
Oh, so it'd be good for like interactions with
Oh,
cops
is that
or
what it is? Is
something.
that the
Like a-
difference?
Exactly.
No, because
Right
I've
kind
seen
of
it.
Yeah. It's
Wonka with the blind 20 this time.
like Facebook
It's got the Doyle in Hearts, which is the name of a romance novel that we're working on
Oh, it's going to be so good.
about Doyle Brunson.
Yeah.
Like an accessible permanent record. You know.
I'm just going to give away who some of the other characters are, okay?
Okay.
Jennifer Harmon,
I mean, yeah.
Jennifer Tilly,
Yeah.
Jennifer Beal, who was from Flashdance, the star from Flashdance.
Okay,
back in the
good.
day, who Doyle, big fan of Flashdance, of course. And Jessica Biel.
If you keep the train going, you can start adding other Jessicas.
Yeah, believe me, I was working on it in my head.
Looks like Stewart is going to 4-bet. Well, it's
Oh,
really a
wow.
it's really a 3-bet with the king
Right.
queen, which is a cool play. Sam has obviously been doing a lot of opening with weaker holdings,
Jeremy's sitting there thinking about putting on the cold 5-bet, which is admittedly really a cold 4-bet,
which is still super cool, and I want to see it happen.
but it's a very expensive cold 4-bet to do were he to do it, right? It'd be about $550.
Joseph with a hand he really wants to play, but he knows he's not supposed to. That's that face.
Can't call.
Doesn't have a blocker, so folding is the best option.
Haven't looked yet, but I'm going to point out that this is a pretty good cold 4-bet, so you guys won't believe me if I do have a big hand.
Good old Wonka.
Yeah.
Sam doesn't look like he has any thoughts to folding.
It said fold, but that's a lie.
No.
Is that bad?
That speech
Yeah.
best. That's like
yeah.
last
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Honestly, because I'm still there.
And
Gut shot for Stewart. That's a good start with the king queen. It's not exactly what you want.
it's going to be easy to keep firing, though. You know that feeling you have when you put in $200 and you just completely miss and you're not the aggressor even? You're just like, I'm just going to lose now.
Yeah, I have ace queen of red on this board.
This just sucks.
Yeah.
Like he's just got kings and jacks.
It doesn't matter if he's bluffing. I'm not doing anything about it.
It's like, what's the plan here?
Yeah.
Hurry.
Yeah.
I know both
Oh,
of them.
sorry. He's getting busted.
I know
Busting
both
you
of
on
them,
camera.
and I pretty much know you, but I'm off by a year, but I'm not going to. I'll let you.
Stuart just keeps on keeping on. This is the first time he hasn't had it in a long time. He's basically just always has it.
Yeah. That's a form of run good as well when you 3-bet, get called, get a flop that's not really that good for your hand and get a fold anyway.
Yeah.
That's a form of running good.
Absolutely.
It's going to be so fun if I had a fun light.
I mean, there were some really bad flops for Stuart, right? Queen high flops and stuff.
Yeah.
I think your big hand is here.
Sam and Stuart playing the most, well, raising the most.
Look at Zach still with a 0% pre-flop raise. Now that's going to change in the software because he is currently doing the mandatory 20. So
There it
give him-
is.
That'll give him a little
Oh.
1%. That'll give him a 1%
It's
next
not
time that
real,
comes.
though. It's
Yeah.
not real.
Still, Zach has raised literally 0 hands. I don't think we've ever seen this before.
Well, his VPIP would still be 0, right? Although the software won't know it. Yeah, that's right.
It's not VP, it's PFR. But
No, but I'm saying, but also that would be part of his VPipping, right? No, you're right. His VPipping's different. I'm sorry. You're
yeah, what are
totally
you
right.
talking about?
I'm just wrong. I'm just
Okay.
completely wrong. Ignore me.
Just the host of a poker show. You should probably know.
I don't have to know anything. That's your job. My job is to make cultural references.
You're not even very good at that.
Jessica Biel.
The beauty is, even if you have something with dark race, you can't do nothing.
All right, so we've got a 5-way limped pot,
Wow, you can't do nothing.
and nobody has anything.
King Jack for the gut shot for wheel.
And the nut no pair as well.
You need to think about that more.
Can you pivot off of Jessica to a fictional Jessica, like Jessica Fletcher?
Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Fletcher, Murder, She Wrote.
Was it? How do you know that?
Because my mom used to watch Murder, She Wrote. And there's an 8 for Wonka.
Wow, you just really talk about pivoting from
I'm-
Murder She Wrote to the board and who it helps. Like
I know
it's
exactly
nothing.
what I'm doing.
And finally, the river. It's another queen. Wonka's got a full house.
He's
Monster hand.
He's going to
here.
feel like it's the best hand, but he's not going to feel like betting it.
I don't see how he's ever supposed to get value. He's just hoping someone's going to bluff it and not too expensively. But no one tries. Wonka picks up the $100.
Oh, I'm totally good.
Full house?
Full of eights.
Oh my god.
Who doesn't bet $15?
No, just checking.
So I didn't come up with this. Somebody else did. But Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote.
You gonna pay me?
She just like goes to different towns in the Northeast, and then murders happen when she's there, instead of her traveling there because there's a murder.
Correct.
So she's the murderer, right?
It's not that she's the murderer, but it's that these things are connected in ways that are less obvious, I think. Much like, there was the cat in the nursing home, where there was actually newspaper articles about
Oh,
this.
this is real life though.
Yeah,
not,
this is
not,
real.
not fictional.
Oh yeah, this is real. Where they said the cat can sense who dies, and the
Right.
cat would like body up to some old person, and then they would die. And like, wow, it like has a sixth sense for this. And eventually they realized the cat was actually killing the people. Like it had some sort of virus or something. And they were dying because of being in contact with the cat. So it's sort of like that.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, but it took them a long time to figure that out.
The guy opens to 75K.
Okay.
I ship for 600K.
Okay.
He thinks for about a second and calls with 8-9 off because he's not going to get bullied. I have ace-10
85.
suited and I hold and
Raise to
win.
85.
Yay, tournament's over.
Wow. Easy game.
Gold.
That's like. What
like-
was,
it's
first
like-
was
it's
a
nice
10.
to-
Well, this is a decent hand for Zach here, especially considering that the
Oh,
Good job, mate.
he got what?
I got just for a second I thought maybe he was raising. I got really excited.
You got too excited.
I wanted to believe.
By the way, Joseph is just off the rails with a 9 deuce off here,
Are they still? Are we in the fourth yet?
opening the 9 deuce off over the 20.
Joseph apparently thinks he can take the best hairdo in poker and turn it into a profitable session. But those things are not necessarily related. Joseph's
And-
going to have to continue on this board.
Yeah, absolute must continue when you open the
And
9
he
deuce.
checks
He
it
checks it. I guess he
back.
thinks that Zach is super tight and has a lot of aces.
Yeah, maybe he's right.
Because it was a 2-day tournament. Like,
But if Zach checks again, I think Joseph's got to take a shot here, and Zach does.
Absolutely have to fire now.
It shouldn't work.
You
with
can't
Zach's
take your
hand.
showdown value. You've got 9 high and there's $195 in the pot, and you have the initiative. This is a good time to bet.
It shouldn't work.
There's no way it should work.
but
Not with a Jack and Zach's
Zach
hand.
has the nut jack. It feels like a super easy call.
it was just like,
And he is going to let it go.
Wow, that is tight.
like,
Wow.
for 45 bigs.
What?
Yeah, you know.
Oh, we're at a final table. Like usually at this point we're short.
started the
Somebody
20
opens, we can
ends
jam.
on- Keep going.
Up to
just
the
like,
table.
okay.
It's like, okay. all
They made you
right.
gamble with them, though.
Does anybody
Like,
want to
there
do
was
another
no,
round
like,
of the dark 20?
I don't think it does much, but.
No, I mean, Sam's asking because it's there. I don't care.
Do you want to do it, Sam?
No, I don't care. I just want to do what everybody else wants. I am indifferent.
I'd rather play a couple more bomb pots if you're going to do anything, but it's going to spice it up.
I'd rather do a dark 20 than a bomb.
Well, shoot.
Let's just play 5-10.
They're trying to negotiate which way they're going to increase the stakes of the 5-10 game. Either the dark 20 continues or they do more bomb pots. It sounds like there was not much of a conclusion based on what we heard there.
Trying to get a table full of poker players to agree on pretty much anything. Challenging. The only thing I think you can get all poker players to agree on is politics.
Oh yeah, everybody agrees on politics. You should always bring it up at the table. And religion. Those are the two things you should always talk about. Joseph thinking about getting squirrely with the 7-3 suited. He's like, it worked with 9 deuce. This is suited.
He is reaching for chips. I thought he was going to give up on this one, but
He just calls the 7-3 suited.
Alright, well, he's going to have position on Jeremy at least. And here's
7-3 of clubs is the hand that Jeremy hurt Batiste real bad in the Lord of Denim series.
Oh, yeah?
Batiste was having a pretty good session, and the last hand, Jeremy decided to play 7-3 suited when Batiste opened early and
oh yeah,
got a lot of money out of Batiste.
Jeremy with the double gutter. No one else has anything at all. Jeremy, perfect board to continue on.
Yeah, and this should just end things.
I don't know. We'll see if Joseph has ill will and intent towards Jeremy.
He just
At least
wants
in
his
this
money.
hand.
He
Just
just
in
wants
this
his
hand.
money. It's different.
It looks
And
like
he
he does have
does.
ill will and intent towards Jeremy, at least in this hand. Probably not in general.
We don't know for sure, though.
I've never seen them have,
Oh, yeah. You haven't
Say.
seen it.
Anyway, this is a raise.
Did you see Oscar Pistorius and
All
his
right.
girlfriend fight?
Great. Let's bring that up. That's a good idea.
As the statute of
like
limitations has
great.
been
It was
the
like
statute of limitations has been reached on
2
jokes.
years ago.
Wow, you have no idea about timelines. It's like 2008.
Anyway, Jeremy's here in an interesting spot. I guess they're just too deep to do anything but call. He doesn't want to raise and get re-raised. That would just be awful. It seems very unlikely that that would happen. Like, what could Joseph actually be re-raising? Actually, there's like no hand he should be able to re-raise.
Yeah.
But what if he has a big combo draw? He might. And that card, if
Terrible
Joseph is
card.
willing to fire again, if he's willing to, it's hard to fire again on that card. But
It's
if
a
he
terrible
is,
card for Jeremy, though.
he should be able to win the pot because he can have. He's the guy who has ace 8 and ace jack
And 8-8.
and 8-8. That's right.
Jeremy has 8-8 as well,
Yep.
but it's a little bit more squarely in Joseph's range. And from Jeremy's perspective, now he could be drawing dead.
You got 7-3, but Joseph
He just checks it
back.
right back. He thinks the ace is too much of Jeremy's range.
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
pretty reasonable to think that. Hearts come in now. If Jeremy checks again,
Joseph could win this pot very easily.
now you can wrap hearts too. The problem is, of course, Jeremy would play an ace like this on all streets, right? Even if he checks here.
We might see a spot where we go to showdown with queen high and win.
That would be outrageous. Anyone takes a shot at this, they do get to win. Jeremy's trying to think, can I rep the hearts? He's got the queen of hearts in his hand. Joseph didn't bet the turn. He rarely has hearts. I think he's going to make a bet here when he does that.
I think he might be putting Joseph on Jack 8 and thinking he should take a shot.
By the way, if Joseph just has like, I don't know if he'd ever think Joseph would raise a hand like ace 10. So
Joseph
Trying to get
raises with
Joseph
some
off.
weird stuff.
yeah, you might be able to get him off a medium ace too.
I would be targeting Jack 8 mostly.
Did he pour something
That's
on
the best hand
table too, or did he
to
just
like
knock
be
over
like, oh, Joseph could have Jack 8. I could beat that now.
I think he's just trying to, and Joseph has an easy fold when Jeremy bluffs.
Jeremy feels great about that bluff,
Yep.
although he would have won if it went. I wonder if it would have gone check. Joseph seemed a little done with it.
Hard to know. When that heart comes and Jeremy checks again, if I'm Joseph, I'm definitely firing.
Yeah.
Figured Jeremy's going to fire his own. Jeremy's going to bet his flushes there on the river. So I don't see how you don't take a shot if you're Joseph. Now, I don't know. Joseph sometimes surprises me with his decisions, though. But seems to me that the only way Jeremy wins that most of the time is to bet. So check raise even sweeter, though.
Oh, the sweetest. Looks like Wheel has added some chips there
It does.
since he played that ace 4 hand against Stewart.
Since he was stacked in that hand.
Yeah.
He probably is more than 0, so I feel
He
confident
didn't.
in
He
saying
didn't
that.
try to spin up the 0.
Ooh, Wheel. We're going to play a hand blind with Wheel now.
I think we're gonna find.
This
out
is
what
exciting
it
not to know what he has.
We're gonna know though.
I hope we don't. You know what? Just put a piece of tape on the phone or tablet or TV screen or whatever you're watching, so you never get to see Wheel's cards. They're still not up.
You know that the cards move around if more players enter.
You know what? Move that tape right along with it. Or put several pieces of tape up there if that helps. Is Joseph? Joseph is going to limp.
Not
Sorry,
limp.
call. I was looking at the guy.
You don't know the
behind
poker terminology.
me. I was looking at Wonka where it said 10 to call. Joseph's going to
kind of
call
a
with Jack 3 offsuit. Can we come back to that?
We can talk about that, but also Sam has kings. We could talk about that.
Well, we're going to learn more about Wheel's hand in a second.
We can talk about how you don't know poker terminology yet you are hosting a poker show.
No one needs to talk about that. So how much does Sam make it here? 160.
Wheel is the only potential customer for him, I think. Zach, I guess, could just move in.
He
But he's not deep enough to call.
And that's not in Zach's DNA, I don't think. We haven't
No,
seen
that's
him
a
do anything
pre-flop
like that.
raise. He doesn't,
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't do that.
He's literally not done that in what is almost 3 hours of play. I guess he could call with 2 5s, I guess, but that wouldn't be a play.
Seems
I
like
would
a mistake.
Recommend.
I like a fold.
He does let it go.
Sam shows the kings. Now everybody. Oh, he didn't show it. I thought
Well, he showed the backs of the kings, bro.
I saw him flip it.
Who's wrong about poker now, huh?
Obviously me.
Who's highly mistaken now, calling the action incorrectly? Yeah, it's you. All right, Stuart, the big winner. Wheel, the big loser. Joe right next to him. Joseph only down 1.1K after winning that that big double through Joe. And Jeremy and Wonka doing pretty well, too. But Stuart, 4.4 thousand up.
It's a good night.
And he's still got an hour to go.
He could lose it
Can
all.
he crest the 5K mark and
Don't
be the
say-
all-time winner?
Don't say crest.
Why?
You know why.
You're anti-toothpaste?
Certain
You
toothpaste.
sort of are.
I mean, I don't use it. Joseph with 10-9 of hearts. Very nice hand. Zach with ace 7 off looks interested. I don't know why. Certainly not raising. We know that.
That's true. And
Joe,
VPIP
of course, is going to VPIP Joe it
VPIP
up.
Joe's like, well, I'm dominant in 2 spots, so I better put this chips in. Here's Sam with a very reasonable call. And it's a little too pricey for Wheels 8 deuce off. You know what we've gotten away from is naming all the hands. What happened?
I don't know, but we should name a new intern because the intern just told me this is the last hand of this episode.
Devastating. Top pair for Zach, flush draw for Joseph.
I'm going to call the intern Betsy.
What happened to Samantha?
Oh, she died.
Oh my god.
So Zach's going to bet. It's okay.
What?
She was at peace.
How did she die?
I don't want to talk about it.
I think Samantha was a big part of the last 2 episodes. She did a good job. We were complimenting her.
Yeah.
She died? It's weird that I didn't even know about it.
Sometimes life is just too much for people. Joseph.
You guys, there's someone out there who's listening like, these guys are really cavalier with one of the people they work with just dying.
Yeah, they think it's real. I know.
It's not real. Samantha's but a figment.
Well, now she is.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not real to me. Zach not getting bullied here.
Nope.
Wait. Zach
he's
raises.
raising.
Zach raises, and look, it's perfect. Turns out it's perfect.
Happens to be perfect.
If Joseph were to shove, I really hope Zach is calling. Otherwise, it's awful.
That would be a bad thing.
Will Joseph call? It's 180 to win 750. The price is right. I think he's supposed to call this.
And he does. All right.
Joseph's going to basically just go with a heart and fold anything else.
It's
That
a
is
5. Now Zach gets to chop with all the other aces besides ace king and ace 5.
Really good card for Zach when he gets called. Turns out he was ahead the whole way. And apparently that is going to do it. I'm getting flagged down by Betsy. Nice to meet you, by the way.
No, Betsy, don't go near the cliff. That's how it happened.
See you next
Oh,
time.
she's gone.